Woodblock printmaker David Bull here again in our Asakusa workshop in Tokyo, but not in my usual place for these videos. I'm here tonight up on the third floor at one of the printing benches. Now this is not my printing bench, of course. I don't have one of those these days. This belongs to Natsuki Suga. And as you just saw in the cold open, this is the place where she made her version of the most recent print in our Japan Journey series, the one representing summer tea fields. This will be a process video, and we're going to watch along from start to finish, from the blank sheet of paper up to the finished print. As she reached each block in the sequence, she called Cameron-san to come up from downstairs where his office is, bring his camera up, and take a video of each step. He did that, and he also took back the print from her at each stage and scanned it. So at the end of this video, we'll have one of those slideshows where you can see the colors magically appearing step by step. They've asked me to provide a commentary for this video, and that'll be my job tonight. I'm going to be taking a look at their finished rough cut, getting my headphones and microphone ready, and providing a play-by-play, as it were, of what you're about to see. Let's get right to it. Do you see the bright orange color of the pigment that she splashed onto the wood? Right away here with this first block, we are going to see a demonstration of one of the most fundamental aspects to the traditional Japanese method. That pigment was quite a vivid color, but these pigments are transparent, which means that they always allow everything below to show through. And in the case of this initial color, that will mean the tone of the paper. Just wait a moment until she's done here, and you will then see what I mean. Here we go, off it comes. Our vivid orange has been diluted and mixed, as it were, with the white tone of the paper. Those of you who have seen many of our other process videos might be a bit surprised at the order here. Suga-san did the light background color before the key block. Surely the key has to come first, doesn't it? Well, it certainly has to come before any of the detailed coloring in order that we can confirm that everything is lining up. But if she had done this key first, the quite heavy pressure she used on that background color might have caused these dark lines to bleed a little bit. As you can see, there are very few places here where registration is tight, so she was able to do these two impressions in the wrong order. Can you understand the carved shapes on the wood here? This impression is going to be one that kills two birds, as it were. The upper part of the image, the part furthest from Suga-san, will be an area of open sky in the picture. But the carved patterns on the lower part will turn out to be printing shadows. Shadows on the tea bushes and the human figures. Just wait a moment and you'll see the result. And presto, the two color blocks now have given us three colors. And this is all possible because of the transparency of the pigments. That clear liquid you saw her splashing onto the wood, which will be mixed together with the pigment, is starch paste. It's not there to act as a glue. We simply need it to thicken out the pigment mix, which would be too watery if left by itself. It's the combination of the two that gives us a creamy substance that gets pressed deeply into the fibers of the paper by our printing tool. And as you can see, sometimes almost coming right through to the reverse side of the paper. And it starts to come alive. Look at this. Remember, this green that you are seeing here is a combination of that latest impression, but it's on top of the initial one that toned the paper. Building color up in layers like this is a fundamental part of this Shinhanga genre. The metal object she is using is there to help keep the wood clean in the area of the registration marks. If she was a bit careless here, the corner of the finished print would be stained with this pigment. Can you see the result of this one? The main purpose of this block is the shadow tones in the clouds, but it also added a slight touch to the figures and the pathways. We've seen this green before, but we are getting it this time on only part of the T-fields, in order to help us differentiate the closer and farther areas. The little white slip of paper is simply there to ensure that even if the paper sags slightly while she is printing, it won't pick up any stains from the pigment. I think if we asked Suga-san about this, she would politely suggest that the block could have been carved a little bit deeper at that point. This one is a mistake. Not a mistake here in the printing, but it was a miscalculation in the color separation stages. This shadow on these trees appeared back at stage 3, and it looked fine then, but it turned out to be just too light. And we weren't able to dial it up back on the original block because it would have made the sky too deep. So after our test printing and we discovered this problem, I just used a blank area of one of the blocks to cut the same shape again. It adds one extra printing impression to Suga-san's work, but you do what you have to do to get the job done. So what do you think? Looks finished? Well, it could be, I guess, but we have one more to do. It's a kind of a bridge to a more traditional ukiyo-e style. That's it for the actual printing part, but there are still a couple of other steps. For this series, we are using polymer plates to do embossing on the paper. The first one here, done with no pigment or paste, impresses the title of the print. Here reading, Summer Tea Fields. And the second one is a plate that she repeats for every print in this series, with the name of the carver, in this case Young-chun-san, and the printer's name herself, Suga Natsuki. So there you have it, the finished print. We're pretty happy here at Mokuhankan with the way that this year's series is turning out, you know. It's been just about a year last summer when we were starting the planning for this. And Jed and I, honestly speaking, we were a bit concerned about it. We weren't really sure if something like this would fly. For years now, we've been making prints based on, of course, famous video game characters. Without their power, would people be interested in our work? As it turns out, we needn't have worried. I think it was within 2 weeks of making the initial announcement last December, we were fully subscribed to 200 people. And since then, we've been building a large waiting list. Now, that's actually not a problem because, as it turns out, these wood blocks, the cherry blocks, are really, really very hard. And they're capable of making many, many more prints over the years. We're full up right now, but as soon as the printers get caught up, they will be getting these blocks out again, making another edition, and we'll be calling people on the waiting list to come and join us. So there we are. I think that's it for tonight. I'm already at work on my next David's Choice video, and I know Cameron is at work. He's not just planning a new video, he's planning a new video series. And he's terrified and he won't want me to talk about this just yet because it's really not well established. But trust me, it'll be something that is going to be a ton of fun, both for the people watching and for us who are making it. That's enough for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll get back to my bench downstairs. Good night for now.